So a very good morning. I'm very glad to see so many people attending Unite 2018 Singapore. So this is my second year speaking. I spoke last year in Unite 2017. It was in that very awesome Art Science Museum. Anyone came to Unite 2017? One guy, two, three. Yeah, of course, I would expect to see a few recurring people coming to events like this, which is great. Not many software companies actually give the initiative to actually produce this kind of sessions, sharing sessions, and what people have been doing and stuff like that. So this is a very great community over here. So I spoke this topic in Unite KL just a couple of weeks back, and I'm going to run through things this time because timing is a little late. Okay, so I am Jason. So me and my team, we have been working on Unity projects for the past 3 years in Malaysia, where in Malaysia, things are probably not as hyped up as in Singapore. We have a lot more things going on here. I have Unity officers in here and stuff like that. So in my today's presentation, I'm going to talk a bit about what my team have been using Unity to do for the past year in 2018. All right. So the title is Visualizing Data Analytics in Augmented Reality, an IoT Simulation Case Study. So the difference between 2017 and 2018 is that in 2017, me and my team, when we just started to use AR and stuff like that, people usually do a lot of very fun stuff with AR, very AR lah. They do some game, they pop things out here and there, stuff like that. But we realized that as we prolong or we go down that road, a lot of people think that AR is like some kind of very gimmick stuff. People will just like to say, AR, oh, yes, see, what very gimmick. So what else can it do besides just showing up stuff in 3D in the real world? So this, I bet, is a lot of developers. They have this kind of issues to think about. So what else can we actually really use AR in terms of making it seriously getting accepted into the public or bigger corporations? When you really deal with really big companies, they don't really just want to pay you one time to do something very gimmick. They expect a very lifelong process or project in which you can use AR to actually show stuff and things like that. So this year, I told my team, okay, we gotta not do so much multimedia-related gamification stuff using AR anymore. It's time to maybe do a little bit more of a serious route. You gotta do like visualization of something really important and stuff like that. So we didn't really have any idea what the team was going to do at the time, but we realized that along the way, when we go and ask around and stuff like that, we realized that a lot of industry players are actually looking for data visualization. So we thought that AR at the end of the day is like some form of visualization for any kind of things you want to do in life. Okay, so therefore with a few opportunities, we actually did multiple IoT related projects in Malaysia for the past year. And you guys know what IoT is, right? Like who does not know what IoT is? I believe everyone here would at least know what IoT is. So IoT is the Internet of Things where stuffs can be connected to the internet and we actually pull data from it and stuff like that. So I'm going to show you a couple of projects that we have done using Unity to visualize stuffs in AR in Malaysia. Right, so an IoT device data visualization with augmented reality. This is one of our case studies we did earlier this year. Okay, so a brief process of the flow. We have the device, which the data will be synced to a certain cloud platform, where then a data monitoring dashboard will be seen, and from there we then will pull all those data into our digital device and actually visualize them using AR. Okay. So this is our client actually. A collaboration was made with IoT Labs in Malaysia. So IoT Labs is one of the leading foundation members of IoT devices for factories. So they will actually put all these kind of sensors, humidity sensors, temperature sensors, all these kind of sensors around their factories. Okay, and all of these sensors will actually detect whatever it should detect. For example, the humidity level, temperature, timing, and stuff like that. And then it will sync to their dashboard online. So that's the thing with the engineers at the time, that every time if they want to check all this dashboard-related stuff, right, they will need to go log in, somewhere, some portal. Nobody really push it, mobile optimization. So actually the boss wanted to just like, can I have a mobile optimized view of my dashboard and stuff like that? Apps is like a bit too far and stuff like that. So we thought that, why don't we take this project and we push it to another level in terms of allowing better or enhanced visualization for your engineers. So they tell us, okay, we're going to do it in AR. And they're like, oh, got people do all these things in AR, man. I don't know, we should just try. So upon user requirements gathering, we identified the need to display data in a more effective way and efficient through instant access with a mobile phone. All right, so what did we do? In case you guys are wondering, how do we pull all this data from a dashboard from another company? Okay, so we pull the raw data via IoT Labs dashboard API, where the files we actually receive is just like .json numbers and stuff like that. We then conducted data sorting and filtering management process that allows us to produce necessary calculations that will generate what we call needed coordinates. Because when you plot graph, you plot anything, right? We're talking about coordinates. How do we take a certain coordinate and transfer it into something that actually matches the original coordinates of the dashboard? Because it's not so easy. We pull and Unity got some plugin, bring, magical, everything happens. Sadly, this is not the case. So from there, we will then use these retrieved coordinates to plot our data. We then finally use Vuforia, of course, I don't think I need to explain what Vuforia is over here. So we definitely use Vuforia to convert the data to appear in the real-world environment as an augmented reality visualization. Okay, so my next slide, I will actually show a demo video. Do I just click next for it to play? All right, so example, when we scan, so there's a temperature button, it will actually show the graph. See, so different graphs by the clients. We can set different functionalities that will actually play. It's a bit hard to see over here, but from here we actually have numbers, you know, the X and Y table, the coordinates and stuff like that to actually show the client, this is how we actually view those data and stuff like that. So in this sense, the device pointed to the IoT sensor will show real-time data in AR. So pull, you know, it's a very seamless process. And by clicking on the specific features, the corresponding charts will then appear kind of in AR. So these kind of things is what Google Glass is attempting to do for the public a few years ago. The problem with Google Glass at that time was that a lot of people here tried Google Glass, because if I talk about this in Malaysia, people are like, oh no, we haven't even seen Google Glass. I don't know about Singapore and stuff like that. But the problem with Google Glass is that we couldn't really use the Google Glass for a very long time. It overheats very fast, especially when in the AR mode, and then you need to charge is very expensive and stuff like that. So they were thinking of other ways to actually put like at least a mobile phone and stuff like that, and how to utilize this thing in the future with maybe cheaper goggles. You know, those VR headsets, then you just put your phone in, then you can just launch the app anyway, and they open camera mode, and then you can actually view the data with your phone in a VR headset. So that's actually much more cost efficient, and it lasts much longer than a typical Google Glass, and it's also easily achievable. So at the time, a client was talking to a lot of ways to actually use AR and data visualizing and enhancing the process flow of gathering data for their engineers. Right? So case study number 2. We did a project with the National Art Gallery KL called NAGKL. So this is what we call a location-based data analysis using Unity to do also. Okay, so I'll just browse through it. So National Art Gallery is a national art gallery. It's actually a museum where, a museum in Malaysia, in KL, where we actually showcase all kinds of artwork. But then the museum people, or let's say the government officials, are thinking that, okay, but how can we actually put technological perspective into this is artwork stuff, how to make it more interactive for users and stuff like that. Of course, it's in the end of the day, it's not as fancy as the art science museum we have here in Singapore, where everything is just so visual, like wow, and stuff like that. So of course, very basic, it's a museum app. However, what we did to enhance this app and experience for users and also our client. Oh yeah, before I go there, so we also added on certain 360 view, this and that. This is for like home users who couldn't really go to the National Art Gallery in KL and stuff like that. So this is very basic Unity stuff. But however, what we did, or we pushed it further, is we actually used a Bluetooth beacon to actually do tracking. Okay, so this is an IoT tracking Bluetooth device. It's called the Estimote Bluetooth Proximity Beacon. Have anyone used this before? Anyone? Maybe you've seen it in a video somewhere. Right, you go near and stuff like that. So this is a Bluetooth beacon. What it does is, by turning on the Bluetooth on your phone, you can add a tag to this beacon. So this beacon can actually track whoever is nearby them. That's why it's called a proximity beacon. And when a user passes by, the phone's Bluetooth will connect to the beacon to retrieve a tag. The phone will then trigger the data and upload it to our server. So we then only had to configure the SDK once, instead of having to do it twice on the traditional platform with Unity. Because you know Unity is like hybrid and you can like publish both simultaneously. So the whole setting up process for iOS or Android users to actually detect this Bluetooth Estimote beacon, we only had to do it once, that we just published and it just ran. So this Bluetooth device, we're using an SDK to pull that tag around, okay? So I have like a more detailed explanation of how it works. So for a user's perspective, whenever they go to a museum, and they don't get overwhelmed by it. Their app can actually detect all the artwork nearby them, of course, and you can go, oh, I have all these artworks there. So a user will walk close to the artwork. The beacon will send all the data of nearby artworks to the user's device, and it will detect. So this stone, right, is actually stick on the wall of a lot of sections in the museums. And then you will suddenly see a stone there, and you're like, oh, why is there a stone there? It's actually our Bluetooth proximity beacon. So a mobile app will then allow users to check out all available artworks across the vicinity. So this is how it helps the users, or an experience of a user in the sense of this art gallery, because there's so many paintings. And then when you do not have a proper management system to actually tell the users where to go, or it's a leaflet and stuff like that, the users will get confused with the traditional pamphlet and stuff like that. Okay, so why is this important in terms of our client, which is the museum? Is because all of the data captured will then be pushed onto a dashboard, which then our client, which is the museum operatives, can actually use all this data to further improve or enhance their museum structure. You know, when they build a museum, right, how do they decide first floor, second floor, third floor, per artwork? Or like, first floor, which artworks what do they show you first? The most impressive one, the most beautiful one, the most don't know what one. A lot of times in this world, everybody do all these things, right? They still, what they call shucks and durian. Oh yeah, let's just put it this way. It feels good to put all the things this way. So this is why we're moving towards a data-centric world, where we allow data to actually tell us what do users actually like to see, how long do you go and view a painting, does this painting mean a lot to them, and stuff like that. So a few very basic things that our beacon could track at the time was that which artwork numbers, ID, how many people view, which user, the 53rd user, or how many users actually visited the museum, the timestamp of the artwork, how long did they go and look at the particular artwork, what time did they go and visit this artwork. If someone's supposed to go to the first floor, why is the third floor artwork being shown first? So all this kind of data to our museum operatives is very, very important and crucial, because then only you can actually identify, yeah, why are certain artworks not being shown at all? So then they can maybe shift certain artworks to a more prominent location and stuff like that. So all this kind of understanding is very important for all kinds of businesses or operatives out there in the world. So it's always knowing what kind of functions we can do to convert certain elements into useful data to our users. Then our projects will be actually very valuable, especially if it collects data. Everybody just wants to look at that. All right, so moving on to our case study 3, which is a smart city simulation via augmented reality. Okay, so this was done at an exhibition. So AR, usually where do you see AR these days, or even maybe certain VR stuff? You always see in exhibitions. People just actually want to buy that thing one time to show in an exhibition somewhere and simulate some stuff, and then you'll never see it anywhere else again. You know, people don't really go out and use it very long term and stuff like that. So that's just how it is for now. Until we can figure out more long-term use cases like that museum app earlier on, then we'll probably see it more happening around. But however, this is our third case study, a smart city simulation. So this is a very general thing. So our client at the time was Sylvania. So Sylvania is a lighting company, or smart lighting company. Not just a normal Philips light bulb on off using your hand clap, that kind. But they actually wanted to do lamp poles. Like in China, if you've been to China recently, all of their lamp poles are actually fitted with cameras, sensors, and stuff like that, that will tell the city council certain information at certain times. However, when they came to this exhibition, of course, they can't build their whole freaking 20-meter lamp pole inside an exhibition, right? So they were finding ways to actually showcase what their lamp poles can do, or what kind of these kind of industrial lamp poles can actually work for the people and the public and the government, for example. So they wanted to just put like a TV there and display something. So we told them, no, let's try to do an AR simulation. Because at the time, this event was attended by the former Prime Minister of Malaysia to come and check things out. All right, so this is the booth. So we designed the booth into a way where it allows optimum experience for AR. As we all know, like, AR is not that, you can't simply use AR anywhere. Lighting a bit no good, it cannot come out, it cannot detect. The device you use to detect that target camera not good, you also can't do it properly, it's wobbly, the phone overheat, so many things to think about. Therefore, the angle, everything, also our team had to like tell the fabrication engineers, oh, you got to build it this way for optimal experience for the AR process when the time comes. Including like a charger to charge the tablet, When you first do exhibitions, you will not think about your device running out of battery one. But if you use like Vuforia and stuff, you know how fast your device will like just die and oh, we forgot about the chargers part, which actually they did forget, you know. We couldn't even pull a wire down here. We had this tunnel to actually link up the wires, but nope, the event organizers didn't allow us to pull a wire in there to charge our tablets. So we got like 6 to 8 power banks and we just hide the power banks inside. And then when the power bank ran out of juice, we got to swap the power bank for the whole 2 days. Yeah, so it's that kind of experience you get when you do exhibitions and stuff. Like, it's a different kind of setup. It's not only about your app, it's about how your user experience it in the real world. You know, when we talk about UX or the design, it's all about the app interface, but then we have the real world to think about. So it kind of looks like that. When you scan this target, it's a city map, and then it will come out certain 3D graphical animations to actually simulate the situation. So what can you do, for example, in that lamppost? We were able to show that. So we did a very SimCity-based style walkthrough where you can actually control the user. So it's like a mini game in an AR environment. So we control the user, and whenever the user go, example, this is the lamppost, you go to the lamppost, it will actually show you identification, like what China does. Pretty scary, but that's just what the government kind of wants to know. You go, then their software is good enough for image facial recognition, then they can even detect who are you, where are you from, So this is what the lamppost is capable of, which we try to show to the people that actually come to our booths and stuff like that. Next will be Wi-Fi. No, in the future, we're talking about lampposts that have Wi-Fi signals, so you are 100% connected. Why do you need Wi-Fi? So your phone will connect to the Wi-Fi, then probably the government can get your data also. Of course, I'm not supposed to say that. I do not know yet what the government might do with your data. But then again, think about it, a full city with Wi-Fi connected internet speeds, no more data and stuff like that. Our telcos might be rendered useless already. We never know who to support, you know, for this kind of future. So we show this Wi-Fi signal, simulate all the effects and stuff like that. We can even do weather simulation. Rain, sunshine, cloudy effect. All these are what Unity allows us to do. So instead of really using it in your game environment, use it in a simulation-based environment. So this lamppost apparently can even tell you where it's raining. So all this is quite important to like do flood control and stuff like that. I don't know about Singapore, but Malaysia always flood. I don't know why. Everywhere they flood. You have like all these smart tunnels to let the water to go in, right? And then still flood. So this kind of things allows the government to actually react to certain situations faster and better. And then you got all the humidity sensor, the rain sensor, light sensor, everything. Haze simulation. Malaysia always kena haze, I don't know why. Because of all those open burnings and stuff like that. I think Singapore will also get affected once in a while. So it can even detect like which parts of the city have more polluted air, for example. So this then allows the government to take action. I don't know, put more filtration stuffs around the area and stuff like that. So all these smoke particles, all of these things, it gives a more, what we call an immersive effect when a person come and test something. Rather than you just do a pamphlet and you're going to tell someone, oh, yeah, we can detect like haze and stuff like that. People will not buy into your client's product. So all this is always to enhance a certain objective of your client, so your client can meet their final objective and something like that, which is probably to give a very wow feeling towards whoever that comes to the booth and view all these kind of stuffs. Right, so yeah, this is my last slide. I actually could skip quite fast through it. My time is almost up. So through all these kind of simulations, it's very what we call IoT related. Now we can use AR or VR to actually pull data to visualize something, depending on what industry you're in. We can also always use AR to simulate certain activities, which is very hard to show people. There's so many industrial players out there are actually looking into this technology rather than consumers. A lot of us developers were still trying to figure out how to do VR and AR for consumers, very B2C oriented. But if you're talking about, at the end of the day, if we are running a company, a software house, or a business, we're always linking to, you need to find more money, and stuff like that. And then usually the B2B segment is already ready for all these kind of fundings. It's just how you can actually always divert your skills and technology to build things which other industries need and stuff like that.